Hello everyone, welcome to JCE Connect. So we'll start with the second module of the subject, that is 18CV 51, Construction Management and Entrepreneurship. Okay, so the second module belongs to resource management. So in this resource management, how exactly we need to divide the resources and how exactly we need to utilize that one in the construction industry. So that one we will be studying. Okay, so in this, the major construction performance as well as the productivity improvement. So these are the two different key focus areas in the construction industry. You can take any nation, so there the maximum probability of the GDP which is comes from this construction management. So we need to utilize this one in an effective and efficient mode in the construction industry so that we can increase the GDP of nation. Okay, and here in our Indian construction industry, that forms an integral part of economy. Okay, and here the construction constitutes, it provides around 40 to 50% of India's capital expenditure on so many projects, such as in various different sectors. You can see the different projects such as highways, roads, railways, energy, airports, and then irrigation department. Okay, and in other words, we can directly say that this construction industry, that is the second largest industry in the India after the agriculture. So that accounts for around 11% of India's GDP. Okay, and here the improving productivity. So productivity is nothing but what? So how much part of the resources you are consuming and how exactly it is giving certain output at the end. So that one you need to calculate in terms of percentage. So that product input and product, that is purely dependent upon product input as well as the product output. So in formula wise, we can say that product output divided by product input, directly we can say that it's a productivity part. Okay, and here that one we need to improve. That is a major concern for any profit oriented organization. Okay, so in general terms, productivity, that is termed as ratio between the input as well as the output. Okay, the proper management of available asset that can help in improving the productivity. And here labor, that is one of the major resources in the management system. So that labor is the most important asset to a construction company. So in spite of many technological advances, the construction continues to be a labor intensive industry. Okay, so the major cost of the project, that is spent on the labor. So in the various construction sectors, you can see they will be having various resources. They will be having machine, money, time, and other machine parts. But to operate those things, to work out those things, you require men, right? So that comes under in labor part. So to carry out these particular works, labor is the major part, I mean the major resource that when you need to include in the construction industry part. Okay, so here the quality of the construction largely depends upon the quality of the work that is done by the labor. Okay, so labor should be well trained, and they will be they should be knowing about how exactly that work need to be done in a specified given time. Okay, so we need to choose the labors in such a way that they should be knowing those all things in a respective modes. Okay, and the labor productivity that directly affects the construction productivity. So these are the general parts of this resource management. Moving on to the next slide. So these are the contents. First, it starts with the resource management. So in that you can study the basic concept of resource management, and then different class of labors. So which are the different types of labors you can see in the construction industry, and then how exactly we need to provide the salary for them. So that comes under in wages and statutory requirement. And then labor production, rate or productivity, that one also we'll be studying in this module. And then factors affecting labor output or productivity. Okay, and moving on to the next, we'll be studying the construction equipments. So there we'll be studying the classification of construction equipment, and then estimation of productivity for various equipment such as excavator, dozers, compactors, graders, as well as the dumpers. Okay, so these are the different types of equipments in the construction industry. So we'll be studying the productivity of these equipments in the construction industry with respect to time as well as the working hours. And then third starts with estimation of ownership cost and operational and maintenance cost of construction equipments. I mean, whether you need to purchase any equipments or whether you need to hire those equipments in the construction industry. So that is purely dependent upon how exactly you need to utilize that one, whether you require for that one for a longer days or whether you need to use that one for a shorter period of time. So that is depends upon whether you need to purchase or whether you need to hire. So that is again depends upon the total quantity of the work which is carried out by those equipment. And then it starts with selection of construction equipment and basic concept of equipment maintenance. Okay, and then it starts with materials. Okay, materials management functions, and then inventory management. So these things we'll be studying in this module second. Okay, so now we'll move with the next slide. So here, what is resource management? So basically resource management, it's defined as which is planning, organizing and allocating the resources that are important to your business to ensure maximum efficiency. So particularly if you consider with respect to the construction industry, we have studied different resources, right? So they are 4M plus 1T. So those 4M, it stands for what? Men, machine, material, and then money. Okay, so they are different four resources, and T stands for time. So these are the major resources what we can use that one in the construction industry. So here how exactly we need to maintain this 4M plus 1T. Okay, especially in the construction industry, for that we need a proper planning, organizing, and then we need to allocate those resources with respect to various activities. Okay, so by adopting these resources effectively and efficiently in the construction management, we need to get the maximum productivity of the work. Okay, so we need to maintain these resources well in advanced mode such that no wastage should be occur in the usage of this resource management. Either it might be money or time or any materials or other aspects like machine and men, right? So these things we need to use it effectively and efficiently to get the maximum productivity. Okay, so here they have given in the construction industry we need to use our own resources effectively, efficiently and economically, so then only we can get the maximum profit in the construction industry, right? So whatever these resources you have seen, such as men, machine, material, and then money with time, so that one we need to use it effectively. So for that we need a proper planning, like where exactly we need to use these resources and how many days we require and what about the total cost and start date as well as the end date of those resources. Okay, so we need to use that one efficiently in the sense with respect to quantity wise, how much it is required, only that much we need to purchase and we need to use that one. So again that is depends upon the total work which is carried out by that construction industry. And economically in the sense, we need to choose the resources which are nearly available so that we can reduce the transportation cost, and we need to select the good quantity as well as the quality of the material so that we can achieve the 100% of quality, so that the work can be, I mean that structure or whatever the construction industry works, it should comes under in a longer days. Okay, and moving on to the next part, that is resource management cycle. So it's just for your general knowledge. So here in resource management cycle, first we'll do the estimation of the resources, how much it is required, and when it is required. Okay, and then we need to plan that one accordingly. And I mean, planning in the sense, we will come to know that where exactly we need to purchase or bring the resources. For example, for execution of any civil engineering works, you require a lot of materials such as aggregate, sand, cement, steel, etc. So we need to properly plan in such a way that where exactly we need to purchase this one. So what about the cost? What about the quantity? So whether it is applicable with the standard specifications. So each and everything we need to prefer according to the availability of the resources. Okay, and simultaneously after the planning schedule we need to execute this. Okay, so we need to execute this planned activities, and then we need to analyze and optimize it. So in analyze and optimize, how exactly we need to process those resources in field. Okay, so this cycle will be continuous throughout the completion of the project. Okay, and moving on to the next part, that is, it comes under in labor management. So here the labor management, which is a process of channeling human energy and skills into achieving the business objectives. So you can consider any organizations. So those organizations will be having certain goal-oriented process. So to achieve that goal-oriented process, we need to go with the proper labor management. So these labors are executing those particular works well in manner. Okay, so for this we need to divide the labors in various aspects, and then we need to monitor that one according to the work which is there in the construction industry. And labor management is thus concerned with both efficiency and effectiveness of the labor, so that labor, it should be sound enough to carry out all the given work within a specified time, as well as the available resources, that is how fast the job is done, and also how useful the task is. So how exactly, and with respect to duration part, you are going to carry out those works, and the same thing with respect to that importance of the task. And here labors, they can be controlled via three methods. So how exactly you need to monitor those labors which are there in your construction site? First one, it's with control of wage rates. So that is a salary of, I mean, that whatever they work, and for that they need to get something to survive. So that one you can control by wage rates. So that is depends upon the daily wages, monthly wages. Again, it depends upon the various organizations how exactly they have done the agreement with the labors. And then control of working rules. So every construction industry will be having certain rules and regulations. So according to that, you can control the management of, I mean, the labors in your rules. And here practice of sound labor management techniques. So that is nothing but what, you need to give a standard procedure part and training to the labor, so that your work, whatever they are going to carry out, it should be in a effective mode. So it should not be with any mistakes. I mean, it should be with a zero mistakes, so that you can save the time as well as you can save the resources whatever they are going to use for those works. Okay, so that one you can done the control under this. And here obviously the definition of labor, that is defined as a task that requires the exertion of a body and mind, or you can say it as a both. So here you are going to carry out the work both with the body as well as the mind. So body, it stands for energy, so that you can use that energy in the execution of the work, as well as mind, so that is depends upon the technique as well as the knowledge of that labor. So we can use both of these tasks, such as body as well as the mind, and then that one we can form it as labor. Okay, and here labor is an important resource in the construction because it is one that combines all other the respective, namely materials, plant, equipment, finance, in order to produce the various construction products. So here whatever the other resources are there, so they need to monitor by using this labors only. So if you want to work out with respect to machines, you require labor. So if you want to bring the materials from one place to another, you require machines as well as the labor. So whatever you need to operate of the other resources, you require labors there. Okay, so here labor is the most important task among all these resources. So here the labors which are classified into two different types, they are as follows. First one is with unskilled labors and then skilled labors. The name only indicates the labors, few labors will be unskilled and few labors are skilled. Okay, now we'll study with how exactly they have differentiated with respect to their skills. Okay, and here, so here you can see unskilled and skilled. So in this unskilled, only they are going to use the body to carry out that work. So here whatever the techniques they are going to use, so that percentage will be less compared to skilled here. So skilled laborers are nothing but what, they will be knowing the standard procedure and standard rules and regulations of that work, and as per the specifications they are going to carry out the work. So they are also comes under in labor part, and even the skilled labors also comes under in this labor parts. Okay, so just with respect to skill as well as the unskilled, they have differentiated with respect to the technical part. And then here you can see the unskilled labor is a segment of the workforce that is associated with the limited skill set or minimal economical value for the work performed. So here basically the unskilled labors, that education will be less for these people, and so they are going to be used only at the energy consumption work. For example, shifting of bricks from one place to another one, and to place the water for various concrete structures, and then in the shifting part of materials from one place to another, that is from the storage area to the required location. So there in all these aspects we can use the unskilled labors in the construction industry. So here unskilled labor is generally characterized by a lower educational attainment, and typical results in smaller wages. So basically this unskilled labor's wages, I mean the salary, it will be less because of those educational skills what they will be having. So the work that requires no specific education level or specialized experience is often referred as the unskilled labor force. So they will not be knowing much things about that particular work. So they will be working under the skilled laborers. For example, skilled laborers, if they're told to bring something for the unskilled laborers, so according to their suggestions and guidance, they are working under them. So that is the major difference between skilled laborers and unskilled laborers. For skilled laborers, they will be knowing what exactly they need to do, how exactly they need to do, and what about the required resources for to carry out that work. So each and everything will be knowing for the skilled laborers. So they'll be having certain knowledge about that particular work. And then here you can see the skilled labors. The name only indicates that a skill that consisting of experience, ability, growth, advanced training, competence, learning, as well as the knowledge. So they will be knowing these all aspects such that easily they can carry out the work in an effective manner. Okay, and here skilled labors is a segment of the workforce with a high skill level that creates the significant economic value through the work performed process. So skilled labor is generally characterized by high education or expertise level and high wages. So that by their experience and education skills, easily they can carry out the work. Okay, so skilled labors involves the complicated tasks that require specific skill sets, education, training, and experience, and they may involve in abstract thinking also. Okay, so basically skilled laborers they works with the technical aspects.